Imagine a land of samurai, serene tea gardens, and a blend of the ancient and ultra-modern. What if I told you that Japan's story is as dynamic as a samurai duel? Stick around as we journey through Japan's captivating history, from its mythological beginnings to its rise as a global powerhouse. Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving deep into the rich tapestry of Japan's history. Whether you're a history buff, a lover of Japanese culture, or just curious about this fascinating country, you're in the right place. Let's start our journey. Mythological Beginnings. Our story begins in the mists of mythology. According to legend, Japan was created by the gods Izanagi and Izanami. They dipped a jeweled spear into the ocean, and as the water dripped back into the sea, it formed the islands of Japan. This mythical origin sets the stage for a culture deeply connected to nature and spirituality. Japanese mythology is filled with fascinating tales. One of the most famous is the story of Amaterasu, the sun goddess, who is considered the ancestor of the Japanese imperial family. According to the myth, Amaterasu's brother, the storm god Susanoo, caused havoc in the heavens, prompting her to hide in a cave. This act plunged the world into darkness until the other gods lured her out, restoring light to the world. These stories not only provide insight into ancient Japanese beliefs, but also underline the importance of harmony and balance in Japanese culture. The Jomon and Yayoi periods. Let's move from mythology to archaeology. The earliest known period of Japanese history is the Jomon Period, dating from around 14,000 BC to 300 BC. The Jomon people were primarily hunter-gatherers, known for their distinctive pottery decorated with cord patterns. Their settlements were scattered across the islands, and they lived in harmony with nature, relying on hunting, fishing, and gathering wild plants. Around 300 BC, the Yayoi period began. This era saw significant changes as new technologies and practices arrived from the Asian continent, likely through Korea. The Yayoi people introduced rice farming, metalworking, and new pottery styles. They lived in more permanent villages and developed complex social structures. The shift from the Jomon to Yayoi periods marked the beginning of a more organized and hierarchical society in Japan. The Yamato Period. By the 4th century AD, we enter the Yamato Period, named after the Yamato clan, who began to consolidate power and establish what would become the imperial dynasty. This period is crucial as it laid the foundations for the Japanese state. The Yamato rulers claimed descent from the sun goddess Amaterasu, thus intertwining religion and governance. During the Yamato period, Japan saw the introduction of Buddhism, which came from Korea in the mid-6th century. This new religion had a profound impact on Japanese society, complementing the indigenous Shinto beliefs. The introduction of Buddhism brought with it advancements in art, architecture, and learning. Temples were built, and Buddhist texts were studied, contributing to the cultural development of Japan. The Nara Period. Fast forward to the 8th century, and we arrive at the Nara Period. This era is named after the city of Nara, the first permanent capital of Japan. The Nara period is notable for its cultural and political developments, heavily influenced by Chinese civilization. The government adopted many aspects of the Chinese administrative system, including the establishment of a centralized bureaucracy and the creation of a legal code. During this time, Japan produced some of its most significant literary and historical works. The Kojiki and the Nihon Shoki are two of the oldest chronicles of Japan, detailing the country's mythological origins and early history. Buddhism continued to flourish, and the great Buddha statue in Tadaiji Temple, one of the largest bronze statues in the world, was completed during this period. The Heian Period. The Nara period was followed by the Heian Period, starting in 794 AD, when the capital moved to Heian-kyo, modern-day Kyoto. This era is often considered the golden age of classical Japanese culture. The Heian period saw the rise of a sophisticated court culture centered around the emperor and the aristocracy. One of the most remarkable achievements of this period is the Tale of Genji, written by Murasaki Shikibu in the early 11th century. This literary masterpiece is often regarded as the world's first novel and provides a vivid portrayal of court life. The Heian period also saw the development of unique Japanese art forms, such as Yamato painting, characterized by its depictions of Japanese landscapes and courtly scenes. Despite the cultural flourishing, the political power of the emperor and the central government began to decline. Local aristocrats and powerful military families such as the Fujiwara clan, increasingly controlled the provinces. This decentralization set the stage for the rise of the samurai and the establishment of a feudal system. The Kamakura Period. The Kamakura Period, which began in 1185, marked the ascendancy of the samurai class and the establishment of the first shogunate, a military government led by the shogun. Minamoto no Yoritomo became the first shogun after his victory in the Genpei War, which ended the Heian period and the dominance of the aristocracy. The Kamakura shogunate was characterized by a feudal system in which powerful samurai lords, or daimyo, controlled large territories. The samurai adhered to the code of Bushido, which emphasized loyalty, honor, and martial prowess. Buddhism, particularly Zen Buddhism, gained popularity among the samurai, influencing their culture and way of life. During this period, Japan faced external threats, most notably the Mongol invasions in 1274 and 1281. Despite their overwhelming numbers, the Mongol forces were repelled, thanks in part to the kamikaze, or divine winds, that destroyed their fleets. These invasions reinforced the samurai's sense of duty and honor, further entrenching the feudal system. The Muromachi Period. The fall of the Kamakura shogunate in 1333 led to a period of political turmoil and the rise of the Ashikaga shogunate, marking the beginning of the Muromachi Period. This era, named after the Muromachi district in Kyoto, where the shogunate was based, saw a mix of cultural achievements and social unrest. The Muromachi period is known for its cultural renaissance, often referred to as the Higashiyama culture. Influences from Zen Buddhism permeated various aspects of life, including the arts, garden design, tea ceremony, and no theater. The construction of beautiful Zen temples, such as the Golden Pavilion, Kinkakuji, and the Silver Pavilion, Ginkakuji, showcased the aesthetic values of simplicity and natural beauty. However, the Muromachi period was also marked by political instability and conflict. The Onin War, 1467 to 1477, led to the collapse of central authority and plunged Japan into the Sengoku, or Warring States period. During this time, powerful daimyo vied for control, resulting in widespread chaos and warfare. The Sengoku Period. The Sengoku Period, spanning from the late 15th century to the late 16th century, was a time of continuous military conflict, social upheaval, and political intrigue. This era saw the rise of three of Japan's most famous warlords, Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu. Oda Nobunaga began the process of unifying Japan through a series of military campaigns. He is known for his ruthless tactics and strategic brilliance. Nobunaga's use of firearms, acquired from Portuguese traders, gave him a significant advantage in battles. However, his ambition was cut short when he was betrayed and forced to commit seppuku in 1582. Toyotomi Hideyoshi, one of Nobunaga's generals, continued the unification efforts. By 1590, Hideyoshi had brought most of Japan under his control. He implemented various administrative reforms, including land surveys and a rigid class structure, to consolidate his power. Hideyoshi also launched two unsuccessful invasions of Korea, which drained resources and weakened his regime. After Hideyoshi's death, Tokugawa Ieyasu emerged as the dominant figure. He defeated his rivals at the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600, leading to the establishment of the Tokugawa shogunate in 1603. This marked the beginning of the Edo period and a long era of peace and stability. The Edo period. Under the Tokugawa shogunate, Japan experienced over 250 years of peace, known as the Edo period. The shogunate implemented strict social and political controls, isolating Japan from foreign influence through the policy of sakoku, or closed country. This isolation allowed Japan to develop its culture and economy without external interference. The Edo period saw the rise of a vibrant urban culture, particularly in the city of Edo, modern-day Tokyo. The merchant class grew in wealth and influence, contributing to a flourishing economy. Art and entertainment thrived, with the development of kabuki theater, ukiyo-e woodblock prints, and the tea ceremony. One of the most significant cultural developments of the Edo period was the concept of Bushido, the samurai code of conduct, which emphasized loyalty, honor, and discipline. Samurai were not only warriors, but also became administrators and scholars, contributing to the stability and governance of the country. Despite the peace, The rigid social structure imposed by the Tokugawa regime began to create tensions. Economic changes and natural disasters led to social unrest, and by the mid-19th century, Japan was under increasing pressure from foreign powers to open its borders. The Meiji Restoration. The arrival of Commodore Perry and his black ships in 1853 forced Japan to end its isolationist policies. This pivotal event led to the signing of the Treaty of Kanagawa in 1854, opening Japan to trade with the United States and other Western nations. The shock of foreign intrusion and unequal treaties exposed the weaknesses of the Tokugawa shogunate. In 1868, the Meiji Restoration marked a dramatic turning point in Japanese history. The emperor was restored to power, and the Meiji government embarked on an ambitious program of modernization and westernization. The motto of the era was Fukoku Kyohei, enrich the country, strengthen the military. The Meiji government implemented widespread reforms, including the abolition of the feudal system, the establishment of a constitutional monarchy, and the creation of a modern industrial economy. Japan adopted Western technologies, legal systems, and educational practices. Railways, factories, and modern infrastructure were rapidly built, transforming Japan into a modern industrialized nation. The Meiji period also saw the rise of Japan as a military power. The newly modernized Japanese military achieved significant victories in the First Sino-Japanese War, 1894 to 1895, and the Russo-Japanese War, 1904 to 1905, establishing Japan as a dominant force in East Asia. Taisho and early Showa periods. The early 20th century was a time of both growth and turmoil for Japan. The Taisho period, 1912 to 1926, saw further democratization and modernization. Japan participated in World War I on the side of the Allies, which led to territorial gains and increased international standing. However, the prosperity of the Taisho period was short-lived. The early Showa period, 1926 to 1989, was marked by political instability, economic challenges, and the rise of militarism. The Great Kanto earthquake of 1923 devastated Tokyo and Yokohama, causing widespread destruction and loss of life. As the global economic depression took hold in the 1930s, Japan's aggressive expansionist policies led to the invasion of Manchuria in 1931 and the establishment of the puppet state of Manchukuo. This marked the beginning of Japan's militaristic ambitions, culminating in its involvement in World War II. World War II. Japan's involvement in World War II began with its expansion into Southeast Asia and the Pacific. The attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, brought the United States into the war and marked the start of intense Pacific battles. Japan initially achieved rapid victories, capturing territories across Asia and the Pacific. However, the tide turned as the Allies mounted a counter-offensive. Key battles such as Midway and Guadalcanal shifted the balance of power. The relentless Allied bombing campaign devastated Japanese cities, culminating in the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. The devastation and loss of life were unprecedented, leading to Japan's surrender on August 15, 1945, and the end of World War II. Post-war recovery and economic miracle. Post-war Japan was left in ruins, but the nation embarked on a remarkable journey of recovery and growth. Under the guidance of the Allied occupation forces, led by General Douglas MacArthur, Japan implemented sweeping reforms. The new constitution, adopted in 1947, established a democratic government, guaranteed civil rights, and renounced war. Japan's post-war economic miracle is one of the most remarkable stories of the 20th century. Through a combination of government policies, industrial innovation, and international aid, Japan transformed from a war-torn country into an economic powerhouse. The 1960s and 70s saw rapid industrial growth, with Japan becoming a leader in electronics, automotive manufacturing, and consumer goods. The Tokyo Olympics in 1964 symbolized Japan's recovery and re-emergence on the world stage. Japan's high-speed rail system, the Shinkansen, launched the same year, showcasing its technological prowess. By the 1980s, Japan had become the world's second-largest economy, renowned for its quality products and advanced technology. Japan in the late 20th and early 21st century. The late 20th century brought both challenges and achievements for Japan. The burst of the economic bubble in the early 1990s led to a prolonged period of economic stagnation known as the Lost Decade. Despite these economic difficulties, Japan continued to innovate and adapt. The 21st century has seen Japan navigating a complex landscape of technological advancements, demographic changes, and international relations. Japan remains a global leader in technology, with advancements in robotics, electronics, and renewable energy. The country's pop culture, including anime, manga, and video games, has had a significant cultural impact worldwide. Japan also faces challenges such as an aging population and the need for sustainable development. Efforts to address these issues include policies to support innovation, improve healthcare, and promote environmental sustainability. Today, Japan is a blend of tradition and innovation, where ancient temples stand alongside futuristic skyscrapers. Its history is a testament to resilience, adaptability, and a deep-rooted cultural heritage. From its mythological origins to its rise as a global leader, Japan's story is one of transformation and perseverance. If you enjoyed this journey through Japan's history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more fascinating videos. Thank you for watching. What period in Japanese history fascinates you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if there's another topic you'd like us to cover, we'd love to hear your suggestions. See you in the next video.